Hello everyone, I'm Insane Acorn and welcome to Battlefield Bad Company 2 Know Your Role Engineer Edition. This is the final Know Your Role I plan to do. Let me just turn down the in-game audio again. I always do this, like every single time I listen to it and I think, oh, that's a good volume, but then it turns out it's not. So, anyway. I am playing Conquest on this map because I'm getting a little bit bored of Rush, I'm getting a bit fed up, and I just wanted to try something different. And Conquest, I haven't really played it very much, so I decided to, what the hell? There's lots of tanks on it, and armor and stuff like that, so it would be great for doing Engineer. So, the first thing I want to talk about with the Engineer is its weapons and things first. I'm going to... Hopefully it'll be a bit more in-depth in this one, even though it is the last of the series. I apologise for that. I might go over and redo them with a bit more detail, but anyway, I start off with the tank, as you can see, because engineers belong in a tank in armour, near armour, or in a building near cover where they can destroy other armour. Because engineer, they are armour specialists. That's what their job is. Like, they're heavy, or they're the heavy support, I guess. So I take a bullet there. Whoops. So basically, you want to stay into cover. Like, just keep in playing buildings. Keep in your buildings, and find tanks. Like, the strategy I'm using is keep in as many buildings as possible, and spot the armor, take it out, and spot people trying to come to take our base. I just wanted to defend B for this entire round, and it was a bit difficult because they just kept assaulting B. It's right in the middle, and it was difficult, but we end up winning. Spoiler. But anyway, I kind of blabbed on for a bit about things I didn't want to at the moment, so let me start again. Talking about the weapon, the loadout I'm using is the XM8 Compact, which is the submachine gun version of the XM8 in the assault kit. I'm also using the MP443 sidearm with the Carl Gustav, and I'm using extra rockets and magnum ammo, I believe, with alternate fire. Alternate fire, very handy. I think every single time I run with an engineer I use alternate fire, and most other classes actually, because it's just so handy. I'll show you a tactic right at the end that I use to win the round that involves alternate fire and being an engineer. So then we go into a bit more detail. The XM8C submachine gun, it pours a lot of lead downrange in very little time, but the bullets it does fire aren't very powerful. Up close, up to I think 20 meters, it does 16.7 damage per bullet, and at max range it drops down to 11.2. So if you're doing long range shots, then no, just I try to avoid doing long range shots unless I have to, because you're not going to win them usually. Unless you're getting headshots, it's so difficult. So just keep to close combat, because that's what it's for. You're doing, like per bullet, it's doing that damage. So looking at the rate of fire, it has 750 rounds per minute, I believe. Let me look at the stats. Yeah, it has a 750 round per minute fire rate, so it's very, very fast. Not as fast as the Uzi or the PP2000, but it's a very good weapon. Anyway, the other, moving on to the sidearm, I'm using the MP443. Let's look at the stats of that. It's 20 damage per bullet up close, and at max range it drops down to 14.3. Usually, you can run with the tracer dart, which is quite handy. Like, if you've not got very good aim with a rocket launcher, then you run with a tracer. And most of the time, yeah, I do run with a tracer because they're just damn handy. But on this map, there was no helicopters. It's mostly tanks. And to be honest, I was going to stay in buildings, so I could have used... I just used my pistol because I've got a straight line of sight at tanks and stuff like that. So, moving on to the rocket launcher I'm using the Carl Gustav. Because I didn't know this actually until I went into a bit more depth looking at the stats and things. I was told that the RPG is mainly for tanks and things, and the Carl Gustav is a anti-infantry rocket launcher. So looking at the stats of it, I can see how you'll get that. I mean, the RPG has a 6 meter blast radius, which is fine. It's about average. It's good for both infantry and tanks. Whereas the 84 has a 3-meter blast radius, so you're not exactly going to kill many people with that either. It's mainly for tanks and taking out armor, because it's got the guide feature, the laser sight thing, which is really awkward and weird. I never used it anyway. So, but looking at the one that I'm using, the Karl, it has 8 meters, so it does a lot of splash damage. Let's look at the stats again. Where is the Karl? It does 100 damage up to 1.8 meters. 1.8 meters is a definite kill, so that's awesome. So that's why I'm using that, and it's also great for blowing up cover. And yeah, I've got a bunch of notes here, but this is a 15-minute match. Well, it was a 20-minute match, but I'm talking for 15 minutes because that's the new YouTube upload limit, and it's difficult again. But anyway, carrying on, the engineer also has a repair tool. Now, the repair tool is basically a gun, or some sort of sidearm, I guess, but it is basically a weapon because it what am I going to say? It actually fires. It's an up-close weapon. You have to be literally next to somebody, and it fires at 900 rounds per minute. And each of those rounds, if you're doing it to an enemy, like up close to, I think it counts to a tank, but if you're doing it to a person, it does 19.5 damage per hit, so that's pretty handy. And if you're repairing, I believe over 6 seconds it can repair 559 health, and that's if you're holding the trigger down like completely, just not letting anything else get in your way, you're just holding that trigger down. And yeah, that's good, I guess. But if you do what I do and do it in bursts, if you say repair until it says repair plus 20, take your finger off the trigger for just a tiny bit and then repair again until it says repair plus 20, you'll go a lot longer and heal a lot more before you actually overheat. And when you do overheat, it's 5 seconds for the cooldown before you can use it again. 5 seconds, that's a long time. It seriously is. So I think that's all I wanted, all the stats of the tank, which was quite interesting. So anyway, let's talk about the match now. As I was saying earlier, I just wanted to defend B the entire match, and because I'm an engineer, I'm not good out in the open. I need to stay close quarters, and I need to stay hidden. So this map is perfect for building. It's got lots of cover, and you can spot quite a lot of people from inside these buildings, and you can make your way to these buildings without being spotted, usually. Like, whereabouts am I? We are 8 minutes in, so I think there's a guy up here. Yeah, there is, but he manages to get me as I get him. Oh, I think there was a teammate behind him, actually. So, but they didn't know I was coming in. Yes, he was watching it, but I think he was just camping or and recovering health, because I killed him bloody quick. So I know these guys are there. I'm going to attack them with the Karl because it's great at destroying cover. It's basically like a more powerful grenade launcher. Like, it takes out cover and it actually does damage, unlike the 40mm grenade, which is just really annoying. Anyway, 2 tanks. I believe the RPG does something like 360 damage. The Karl does 280, and the 84, sorry, does 360. I'm not quite sure what these stats are telling me. Yeah, that's what it is. That's the projectile speed. I've got a website with loads of stats on. It's really handy. Anyway, there's a tank in the way. I really need to take it out. I know I'm using the Karl, and I know it's specialised for infantry, but if there's a tank there, it's the only thing I've got against it, and that guy gets in the way of my shot. That's hilarious. But he actually abandoned his tank. So why? Like, if you... Oh, that was lucky. Like, I was going to get out and heal the tank and then use it, because if somebody abandons a tank, that's a free tank. If you're an engineer, you can heal that tank and use it against them. But it didn't work out because I heard somebody planting C4 on me, and C4 is deadly. Like, when somebody plants C4, you can hear it. It goes bloop, and then you know C4 is planted. So basically, as soon as you hear that, get the hell out of there and just hope you don't get out on the side that the C4's been planted on, which is really irritating, because when you get out, I'm actually not sure which side you get out of. It's like, am I getting out the left? Am I getting out the right? There's always that moment of disorientation when you get out of a tank. Like, where am I? I found it quite irritating anyway. But let me talk about Conquest a little more. Conquest is basically like a massive spawn trap, and it's just, if you've got the right tactics, you can win so easily. But two good teams playing against each other as well, it's very difficult and very fun. Yeah, it can be frustrating because you do die a lot, but a lot of the matches I play, I do admit I'm new to this, so I do lose quite badly. Sometimes the other team's got like 100 tickets left, so whoops. But anyways, carrying on. Now I'm using a tank. I think I stay in this tank for most of the rest of the map now. I'm not sure. I know I end the match in a tank. But anyway, what I wanted to, yes, the last thing I wanted to talk about was the alternate fire, which I'm using now. The alternate fire on infantry tanks, I think I'm using the no, I'm not using the BMD. I'm using the Bradley. Okay then, the Bradley is awesome. Like, I love the tanks. The infantry tanks, they have a 4 or 5, I can't remember, is it 4 or 5 bursts of their main cannon, and then you've got the tow missile, which is your alternate fire, and doing the combination of those is so deadly to other tanks. I'm pretty sure with an engineer behind me, I could take out a normal heavy tank using those the main cannon, the tow cannon, and getting out every now and again to fire my own rocket launcher at the enemy. Like, at the end of the match, I get the last kill by confronting a tank. I'm firing my main cannon like crazy. I'm also firing my tow missile whenever I can, and every time I have to reload, I'm getting out of the tank and I'm firing my rocket launcher because I'm an engineer. So by the time I've gotten back into the tank, it's reloaded and I'm ready to fire again. So I'm doing a hell of a lot of damage very quickly, just a constant amount of damage. And it's just amazing how quickly the tanks go down. And they don't expect it. They think the guy's a coward, he's going to stay in that tank for ages. They don't expect you to get out. They're aiming at the tank and not you. So it's so handy to have that. And of course, repair your tank whenever you need to. Like, it doesn't have to be full health all the time, it just helps if it is. Like, the only people that can damage your tank are engineers and recon, and maybe assault if they're trying to be hardcore with a shotgun, which is quite fun. I might do another shotgun game soon. But anyway, I think I stay in this tank for the remainder of the match. And I don't know where that fire is coming from. The one thing I find difficult about being in a tank is, sorry, I just bite my nails, whoops, is trying to spot people, because it's really hard to find people. There's this like strange white tint across the screen, and it makes it difficult to spot people, especially in the heavy tanks. You know, it's all kind of digitalized view, and it's so hard to spot anything, and there's that holographic sight thing, and it's really irritating. So I prefer these light tanks, to be honest. So how far are we in? We are 30 minutes in. We've got 2 minutes left. I think I've talked about most of what I wanted to. As the usual, tactics. What I like to do is just find a spot and defend it for the entire match. And if we need to, push up if I lose my hold on that spot. But that's just me. You can do whatever tactic you like. This is just what works for me, and I'm still learning, like I said. But we have a minute and a bit left, so I'm just gonna say, I did say in my Minecraft video that I was going to finish Battlefield Bad Company 2 videos. Whatever I say in these commentaries, unless it's a channel update, it's not that official. Like, after thinking about it a bit more, I know most of you subscribe for me for these videos, well, subscribe to me for these videos, so what I plan to do now, and I'm going to do a channel update as well later, or, well, actually now, and then this will be out tomorrow, which is Monday, is I'm going to do a Battlefield video every Monday if I can. And here's that awesome tactic I was talking about. Boom, wins the match. So, the video's coming to a close now. I didn't get loads of kills, I never do, well, never usually, but I just want to thank you all for watching my videos, and I hope you've enjoyed them, and I'll see you again soon.